Hello and welcome to the first episode of Taste Buds. It's a show about making great meals that are simple. My name's Mark Inman and I'm your host. So when deciding what should I make as my first meal, I got thinking about it. Who had a big influence on my life? My mother, Lucia, God rest her soul, taught me how to make meatballs, sausage, rigatoni, and marinara sauce. I was entering college and she said, "You're going to have to learn how to cook." So she sat me down and she taught me this wonderful recipe. So every good recipe starts with great ingredients. So I have some fresh ground pork and ground beef, equal parts, half pound of each or a pound of each, depending how many you're going to feed. I have about a pound to half a pound of each. And to that, I'm going to add 4 cracked eggs. Add that in. And now I have my dry ingredients: Italian breadcrumbs, garlic powder, parsley, and basil. So I'm going to add that to my mixture. And the rest is pretty simple. I'm just going to mix it with my hands. I've put EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, in a pan here. I'm going to put these meatballs on, put them in the oven. Now, when you mix your mixture, you don't want to overmix. That can make the meat tough. So I'm going to kind of lightly get in here, mix it up. Only takes probably 2 minutes. Get it good and mixed. Get the breadcrumb. Get it all happy. Now, what I'm about to show you is very important. When you roll your meatballs, don't roll them tightly. You want them firm enough that they stay together and cook, but don't roll them like you're rolling a golf ball. So this is a good mixture. How big should your meatballs be? Around the palm of your hand. You can make them smaller if you want. I like a big meatball. First meatball, I'm going to take the EVOO, I'm going to spread it throughout the pan. Again, I'm not rolling them tightly, just firmly to keep them together. Then onto the pan. So my mom, Lucia, she used to fry her meatballs. When I first learned this, I decided to bake them, and she wasn't real happy with me. But then she tasted the final product and said, "You know what, Mark? Not bad." Eventually, as I maybe cooked them for the 10th time, she said, "These are better than mine." So that's what you want to go for. You want to enjoy a good meal. We used to go to my grandmother's house, Nani, on Sundays. My mom had 3 sisters. All their kids would go there, and we would spend the day. The stores weren't open. Back then in the 70s, on a Sunday, none of the stores were open. I don't know at home if you remember that. I remember it. It almost forced you to spend time with your family, like it or not. We always enjoyed. My cousins were more like siblings to me. We spent the day together. We reminisced. My grandfather made his own wine, so the adults would sit in the kitchen. My grandmother got 16 adults in her kitchen. When I go back to Pennsylvania to visit, I walk in that kitchen and say, "How did they get 16 people in here?" It was a small table, but it extended. But again, we were all together. My grandmother made homemade pasta. She made these meatballs as well. It was a lot of fun. Good times. Now, if your meatballs are you feel they're a little too soupy, you can always add more breadcrumb. I use the Italian breadcrumb that comes with Pecorino Romano cheese, so it has a good flavor. So I'm done here with my meatballs. Just going to put this dish away. Just remember, a clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. You want to clean as you go. You don't want a big mess at the end. Just going to rinse my hands. I was dealing with raw pork, so you want to make sure you wash your hands. So I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and I'm going to cook them for 25 minutes. You might want to check them at 20. The oven has been preheated. I'm going to slide these in here. Now, timing is everything, so while I'm cooking, I also want to turn my water on for my rigatoni. They take about 15 minutes to cook. So what I want to do now is I want to make my marinara sauce. You want pork to be the center of attention in this dish. You get all your flavor from the pork. Then we're going to add the meatballs. So I par-bake my pork to make sure it's cooked before I put it into the pan, 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. So to this pork, I'm going to add crushed tomatoes, 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. You want to make sure you get all the crushed tomatoes. Don't cheat yourself. We all work hard for our money. And usually what I do is I will rinse out the can to make sure I get all those tasty morsels. Just put it on low really quickly here, and you're going to add it in. Because the sauce will cook off. There's meat in there. I'm going to just do this one real quickly. Going to add that in there. Now my dry ingredients. What do I put as dry ingredients? I have a mixture here of garlic powder, oregano, and basil. Just simply add this to my mixture. A little more garlic powder. This is one of the keys to a good sauce. Red pepper, natural sugar. So I have my mixture. When my meatballs are done in 25 minutes, I will add it to this pot. And how long do you let it simmer? My mom only let it simmer an hour. I'm about 3 hours. Okay? Some people add sugar to their marinara sauce. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to put this on my back burner here. I'm going to cover it. Going to put it on low heat. Let it simmer. Like I said, I would do 3 hours. Okay, in the meantime, oh look, my water is boiling. I'm going to cook my rigatoni. How much rigatoni should I use? Well, it depends on how many people you're feeding. If it's your whole family, I would use the whole bag. I'll just use half a bag right now. Another key is, very important, you need a healthy pinch of salt. Going to turn up my burner, really get it cooking here. In about 12 minutes, I'm going to strain the rigatoni. So, we're going to take a little break here. We're going to wait for the rigatoni to cook and we'll serve it up. Hey, so our meatballs are done right now. I'm going to go in the oven and take them out. Remember to use your oven mitts. So again, 350. This has been about 25 minutes. Take them out. Now, if you notice, they're not totally cooked, but that's fine. In fact, you prefer that because they will cook in the sauce. Again, we're going to simmer the sauce for about 3 hours. So my sauce here has been simmering. I'm going to add this to. Going to add the meatballs. We're going to gently loosen them from the pan. I'm going to add them to my sauce. Now, in true Italian fashion, a little spillage in the back, that's just love right there, folks. In true Italian fashion, I made more meatballs than I need. But that's, that's what we do. Just remember, food is love, and for God's sakes, we don't count calories. Just going to give this a little stir to incorporate the meatballs. My roasted pepper starting to break down. Make sure I cover all the meatballs. Going to cover my sauce. And in 3 hours, we're gonna have a great meal. Now my rigatoni. How do you know when your rigatoni is done? It's actually been about 15 minutes. The Italians will say al dente. Means a little bitey. And I think we have perfection here. One quick note, never rinse your pasta. Can anyone guess why? I think someone from out in California, my Aunt Maria, has her hand raised up. Well, the reason you don't is because that starch is what's going to make the sauce stick to your pasta. You ever been in a restaurant? They drain it, it's all water. You don't want that. You want that starchiness. That's the key. Okay, so we're just going to sit back for a while and we're going to let our sauce simmer. Going to add it to our rigatoni. We're going to plate it up. We're going to have a little rigatoni. And I like the small rigatoni. Some people like the big rigatoni. And we're going to plate it up and we're going to manja. Okay, our rigatoni is done. And again, we didn't rinse our pasta. We put it back into the pot. And then what I do here is I'm going to pour a little bit of the sauce into the pan. I want to retain all that starch. I'm going to mix it up before I plate it up. That way all my rigatoni is covered and the sauce is sticking. Very important. You need your sauce to stick. Okay. Now these are my favorite bowls to serve pasta in, right? You don't have to worry about the sauce dripping out. You can dip your rigatoni in there. I like a lot of sauce in my rigatoni. Some people don't. You do you. I'm going to plate it up here. Give a nice portion. See how it's already covered? This is about a half a pound of rigatoni. So, you know, if it's just my wife and me, it's perfect. Now to that, I'm going to add some more sauce and I'm going to add the meat. We're going to have one of our meatballs and sausages. First, I'll add the sauce. There's a big plump meatball. Little sauce on that. Sausage on the side. Again, sauce first. Nice meatball. Sausage. Now to that, I like to add a little red pepper chili flakes. Not a lot. And some fresh ground Parmesan cheese. Lightly sprinkle it on top. And that's our finished product. Lucia's rigatoni, meatball, and sausage. I always like to try the meatball first. Whenever I go to an Italian restaurant, I always order the meatballs. If the meatballs are good, the rest will be good. Let me try this. Delicious, folks. I know I'm biased, but it's delicious. Try a little bit of rigatoni. Very good. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into our first episode. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to more meals. Here's to good health, happiness. Until next time.